What's going on, everybody? Hope y'all are doing good.
Pardon me and my tone.
We're going to start here in 30 seconds. Let's go.
They ain't work.
All right, everybody. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to be talking about something a little bit fun today. It's going to be content marketing in 2021 and beyond. How's it doing? I hope this is a question that, by the way, you guys are all asking yourself, because the current state of content is shifting and changing, and I think it's really important that we take a look at it. So let's look at it together. And it's going to be a bunch of fun today to do this. So I'm going to actually use Neil Patel has a great example about content marketing in 2021. How's it doing, and where might it be headed this year, and is it still king? So I'm going to basically review a blog post that that Neil Patel recently did, and we're going to talk about it together to figure out exactly where the current state is, what we can do different, and really the skill level that's involved. I think that's the thing that I'm noticing more and more is there are so many people out there who are really, really good at what they do. But the primary problem is that they may not have the expertise when it comes to creative to actually stand out from the crowd. And I feel that creative is always the differentiator when it comes to content. So this should be a ton of fun. Make sure you leave me some comments. If there's anything that you're thinking or you want to chat about, I can go ahead and turn on that chat overlay, and you're going to be able to see those comments come through so I can see your questions, which would be epic. So, awesome. So let's go ahead and get started. And I'm just going to go ahead and this is pretty fun from what we got running here with Restream. So this is the first time I'm using it. I think it's pretty cool though. So let's go ahead and get started and take a look at it. I'm going to share my screen, and let's go ahead and go to this right here. All right, awesome. So primarily where I think this is a really, really unique experience, let me go ahead and add this in. All right, awesome. So let me go ahead and add this in, and we're going to go through this together again. And I think it's going to really, really help us contextualize, again, what the current state is, where we find ourselves, what the future is going to look like when it comes to content development. And I hope, again, that you ask questions. I'd love to chat through this with you and just learn together through this process. So let's go ahead and take a moment to actually dig into the material. So there's a couple things in reviewing this that I thought were incredibly important. And these are points that I want to bring up to you. And the reason why I'm using Neil Patel's blog is because I think when we can get context from a, industry agnostic source, I think that's always really cool. Obviously, I spent a lot of time in Fortune 500 with startups in the online entrepreneurship space. But primarily, I feel like Neil Patel just gives a really good overview as far as current state, industry-wide, very similar to a HubSpot, if you will, but more in that personal influence space. So the first thing that comes up for me is right here. So we have content marketing continues to flourish for one very simple reason. It's what the people want. Guys, consumers always win. Consumers always, always, always win. And I know that you might have an opinion about what you think is great content. You may have heard from an influencer about what you think is great content. But at the end of the day, your audience is going to be the determining factor. And there's one thing within content marketing that still rings true today, and that's very simple. People do not want intrusive types of advertising that's actually stealing their time versus giving them back their time. That's why for me today, I'm using a format of training and educating. And the primary reason why is because I know that this information is going to be incredibly helpful for you. So this is why this is something that I feel like should be very paramount for you to remember is that people don't want intrusive ads. Now, for some of you who have DM strategies that are just like, buy my stuff, like this is a real conversation. You're destroying your brand for the sake of an attempted sale that has, in my opinion, an extremely low conversion rate. So we need to get back to the understanding that interruptive or intrusive style advertising at any scale. I've done this managing $1 billion worth of products. I've done this in building my own business. You have to allow brand to supersede sales. And it's just primary, bar none. It's what has to happen. All right. So another thing here, they don't want irrelevant messages and products that have nothing to do with them shoved in their face. This is the constant DM strategy. Y'all got to find a different way. What I found that works well is I like to develop a relationship with the people that end up working with myself or with Tenure, because they're a relationship type of person. We're giving them the opportunity to be sold the way they want to be, which in my opinion is through high relationship, common goal objective, through community. And that's the number one thing, at least for our business, that works best. And we actually give a crap. That's another huge benefit. But I love what Neil said here. Like, they don't want spam clogging their inbox. This could be their messenger inbox. This could be their email inbox. This could be their phone. This could be anything. Like, we've got to realize that the market is it's built to notice what's different. And if you're looking like everybody else, if you're doing everybody else is doing, it's going to be problematic for your business. High quality, useful, relevant, and engaging. These are the things that matter most. Please feel free again to drop any questions you have. Let's talk about this because I'm really interested to hear your thoughts. All right. So we have this guy, Craig Davis, the chief creative officer at a comms firm. He said, we need to stop interrupting what people are interested in and be what people are interested in. That's such an awesome point of view and perspective on this big idea that, like, we need to allow ourselves to actually show up in the power of being what people are interested in. I mean, really think about this. It's either going to come through in education, entertainment. It's going to come from an information basis or an inspiration basis. And we need to tap into the psychographics of what our audience wants and needs from us. And it's so incredibly important. So content marketing in a nutshell. Yeah, it's king, but it's evolving. So let's just go over some of the data here really quick. Compared to outbound tactics, so this is outbound sales, outbound marketing, et cetera, it still costs over 60% less and generates 3 times the amount of leads. Voice and video are leading the charge. This is absolutely huge. For those of you who are running an agency or a local business, or you're an expert, this whole idea around voice search is an arbitrage that you should be paying attention to. As far as content distribution channels, looks like 50% are focused on YouTube this year. 40% are focused on Facebook video. Then we have 33% on Instagram. And then you can see essentially that everything starts driving down the list. So YouTube, obviously, a very, very huge place where people are driving traffic. I think it's something to take note of and to notice and to say, well, is that interesting? Let me see how my tactics are being planned for this year and see how I can really leverage this type of strategy or tactic in my own business. 41% of people use ad blockers. This is awesome. Businesses that use content marketing content marketing have conversion rates 6 times higher on average than those who do not. Absolutely huge. And for the coaches and consultants and stuff, like, these are industry-wide numbers, but you can leverage these for your clients and to explain, like, hey, this is something that has to happen. I'm going to continue down. If you're not convinced yet, you can go to this blog on content marketing stats. So here's the thing. And I think this is primarily what I'm noticing in the entire ecosystem, which is why I'm having this conversation. Essentially, I've heard a lot of people say recently, like, well, Facebook sucks. Facebook's just not working the same way that it used to work, or it's not producing the result that I want it to produce. And what I've realized is, like, Facebook is just a channel that is producing your content. By the way, it's free on your profile. Like, it's just producing your content at scale. So Facebook doesn't suck, you suck. Okay? Like, if your YouTube channel's not getting traction and you just started, like, don't judge the process too early. If people aren't engaging and sharing and commenting and actually a part of what you're creating on a daily basis, like, there's a problem that exists. And it has to do with your content, contextually where you might find yourself with your content. And I think, again, that it's something worth taking a look at and noticing. So what I want to really encourage you to do today, here's the primary thing. You cannot leverage anything as an excuse when it comes to content marketing. You can't say, well, I just don't know how to do it. Or, well, I don't know, it's not really a core part of my strategy. I'm just focusing on getting good referrals. You cannot build and scale a business without levers to pull that allow you to get in front of the right people with the right message at the right time. And this is the whole idea of what we've built at Tenure. This is the whole idea of what we've done when it comes to content marketing at scale, taking it off of your plate, making sure that you can do it in just an hour a month. This is the whole idea. Why? Because the number in the day, 6 times the amount of conversion from content marketing, and you post maybe once a week and you think that's going to cut it? It's not going to cut it. So I hope that this training is something that will just kind of show you, and I'm going to actually drop the link so that you can continue to read it. But primarily, I wanted to speak to the idea that the know, like, and trust factor, creating content at scale, eliminating the excuses. Today I wanted to test out Restream. I wanted to talk through a unique piece of content that I was just doing my own homework on this morning, thinking, well, this is really interesting. That YouTube strategy is really finding its way primary above Facebook this year, which is really interesting. So what do we do with that data? What do we do with that information? What does that say about the contextual entrepreneur who might be interested in buying your services? More than likely that research play, learning the skills and the tactics and giving the information away, it's paramount. And I want to remind you of one more thing, because a lot of people think, well, I have this secret sauce that's so unique that nobody else can do what I can do. It's simply not true. I think the big idea that I want you to lean into is the fact that there are no secrets. So stop saying this is an expert secret. There are no secrets. Google is full of information. We are literally living in the information age. So what I'd love for you to focus on instead is focusing on how can you give the most amount away with no expectation of return? How can your content play be of generosity? How can your content play of being one where you actually give away everything because you understand a primary principle, which is that influence is currency. You're chasing dollars, you should be chasing influence, which is a long-term strategy that provides what? A short-term result. So hope you guys learned something from this today. Thanks for letting me test out this little platform. And I'm pumped and excited. Hope you guys have a wonderful week, and we'll talk to you soon.